are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Busy?
Uh, yeah, I mean, the last few days were a bit busy. I mean, really sorry for that, actually. I think I mixed up my plans. Yeah.
Yeah. The planning artworks exhibition stuff like that, or is your personal stuff?
A bit of both, actually, like personal stuff, work, and maybe planning an art exhibition, but I can't really say anything about that right now. It's really
Yeah,
not official,
yeah,
but yeah.
fair enough. It's good, great, wonderful. As long as you're busy and doing doing artworks, yeah, it's good, it's great. It's a good problems to have. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In this new episode of the ARTFUL podcast, we have Theodore with us, and I was honored to curate a little exhibition that we did together. And why you don't start introducing yourself, your background to the audience, so they can know you better a little bit.
Yeah, so my name is Camille Theodet. I'm French. I originally come from the suburb of Paris. I did fine art studies in the city of Poitiers for 3 years. So I got my bachelor. Then I went to Strasbourg to do 1 year of special effect makeup in a
Mhm.
private school. I also did wig making. So technically I have a diploma for wig making. And yeah, then I decided to move in Berlin in 2017, I think. And since then I'm still here and working.
Your moving to Berlin was to be more part of the art scene, or it was just a random city that you picked to come into?
So actually, I had a friend who was already living here, and he just let me stay like for holidays at some point. And
Mhm.
I actually just really liked it, and I also knew that Berlin was kind of like a art hub in Europe also.
That's great.
So I was thinking like if I can actually stay, I would stay, and I just tried, and yeah, it just happened actually.
Yeah, why not? That was yeah, it was great, and it seems to be working for you. And you've been really busy lately. Since we done the exhibition, I saw that your artwork are being successful. You sold quite a few as well, which is always good, and that's what
Yeah.
we that's what we hope every day when we do artworks. Um, so how do you approach your artworks? Because you do portrait, but they're really particular, and obviously the audience is gonna see it through the video. They're gonna have like some pictures of your artwork so they can understand what I mean. But it's really a singular what you do, and that's why I approach you for the exhibitions at the time. Um, you have a really fun way to unify like the classical portraits, the classical figure that we used to see in churches and in those like conventional places, with like a modern twist, which is super fun to see. How did you come up with the idea and the development?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you said, it's really what I do basically. I take like a classical reference, or at least something we actually really know in classical art history. And yeah, I put a twist on that. Like as you said, something mostly funny. Like most of the time, I just try to do something that makes me laugh first. Like sometimes I'm just thinking, and I'm like, I like this reference. I like how it looks like. And yeah, what can I do with that? Like it's like Virgin Maria, for example. I would be like, what can I do? What can I do to her? Like to make it even more funny. Like I'm just making up stories in my head. Actually, I'm just trying to put that on the portrait. But for how I came up with that, that's honestly a good question. I'm not even sure myself. Like it came like slowly. Like I was trying. Like before, I was doing stuff really different. Actually, I tried a lot of stuff, and yeah, just one day I think I just started to do some portraits because I really like portraits. Actually, as you said, it's what I do, and I just tried actually. Like I was like, oh, that could be fun to put that, and I was like, okay, it's working. Maybe I will continue. And since then, it's been a few years I'm doing that now. So
That's it's really it's really interesting that you want to basically tell a story with those like symbols that you put into the paintings and try to change the narrative of what we used to see, and put a funny twist on those like serious, let's say, subject, which is super interesting and super fun. And even the colors that you use, they're like really poppy and they're like really bright. That's even something that's different from what we see it now, um, from these objects, because they used to be on fresco, so usually it's like a matte, like you can see it, it's like a pretty like opaque, but with your bright colors it changed completely the narrative. And something that when I was researching you and I was talking to you, something that's really interesting, and not many people that I met, many artists that do this, they use the hairbrush as a tool, for painting, which is super interesting. Is that because I don't know, I'm just making a connection right now in my head because you said you did some makeup studies.
Yeah.
Is that because of that? Is it related to that, or is that something that you just pick it up?
Yeah, actually, it came from that. When I did my studies, I had the opportunity to buy an airbrush with the school.
Yeah.
And it's still the same actually that I have. It's Harder and Steinbeck. It's actually German. And let's say it's not the best of the best, but it's really, really good quality. And it was at a good price. So I basically just bought it because I found it fun. Like I was like, I will try. And yeah, first I was using it for the makeup, and I actually kind of forgot it for a while. For my first year in Berlin, I didn't have it here. And someday my family was coming to Berlin. I was like, oh, can you maybe bring my airbrush back and I will try again? And I was like, okay, I actually think I can do something really nice with it. So yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
still
good.
yeah.
That's that's super interesting, the use of a hairbrush, even because they're particularly like small, and it seems to be like something that really difficult to manage, um, in that like a small artwork, which is super well done to you, because they look great, and they don't look they look great. So
Thanks.
um you mentioned before that your practice changed through the time. What do you mean by that? What do you used to do before, and why did you change, if there is a reason?
Uh, f- what changed was mostly the subjects. Like before I was drawing more actually and imagining stuff, like making stuff up for real, like not using references at all,
Mm-hmm.
and just making like some compositions and stuff like that. And yeah, I've done that for a long time also, but I don't know, I think it was not that interesting actually in terms of what I wanted to do or say with that, or even like, you know, now I'm putting a narrative, like a new story in the painting with classical references. It was really not existing in my work before. And yeah, at some point I just switched and I found it even more interesting. And I think it even opened more things like in terms of inspiration actually. I mean, it's been now, I don't know, like 3 years, maybe 4 years that I'm doing that, and I'm still not done. So
Mm. I see. Yeah. How is your what's your usual routine to get into paintings, and how do you start? Do you do some research and you find the subject, and then how do you do the whole process?
yeah, basically, so I have really a lot of references of paintings. So really from classical, religious, it can go to maybe modern sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
have really a lot of stuff. Usually what I do is just maybe sometimes I just find them like randomly, or I'm looking for them when I have an idea in my head, and I
Mm-hmm.
just take a screenshot on my phone. So I have a really big folder
Yeah.
with like 2 or 3 thousand picture in it, like just for that. And yeah, like most of the time I have an idea in my head, like a really general idea of what I want to do in terms of story. And I just look in the references and I'm like, oh, this one could be nice, this one could be nice. What can I do with this one? And then maybe I will do a quick sketch. And yeah. and
And
then
then
I just paint. Yeah, I
going
just
through
go down.
paintings. Is
Yeah.
that the drawing bit is important for you? Do you need to go through the sketching, the drawing before to have like an idea to have like a physical idea of what you want to do? Or
That depends. Like most of the time, I think my ideas stay quite simple. I want to keep it simple actually, because I think it's just nice, that you look at it and you know exactly what it is right away. But when there are like several elements that I want to change, or even in terms of colors or composition,
mm-hmm.
then maybe I will do a sketch to yeah, really have an idea if it will work or not, if it's maybe too big even for the canvas, depending on what I have. But I don't do that all the time actually. I'm even starting to do it digitally now on Photoshop, so it really
Mm-hmm.
depends.
Yeah. Okay. Did what's the because it's a singular subject, and why did you choose to go into this realm? Like, why did you choose to? Is that something that you're going against, like the church, like the this sacred figure that we usually have, like in our culture, um, or it's I don't know, it's something that you just feel that's what you want to do, and is there like a meaning behind you choose to go to make fun, let's say, of this subjects?
Mm. Well, I make fun for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was always interested in that. Like, I really like actually like religious art. Like, I might make fun of it, but not in a bad way. Like, I still have a certain respect for that, as
Mm,
any religion. Christianism in particular, because it's what I know actually. I mean,
yeah.
personally, I'm not, but I don't know, like my grandparents really are religious, and when I was young, I went to church with them and this kind of stuff. So that's something I actually know and understand. And
Mm,
I would not go, for example, to I don't know, to Muslim or Buddhism, because it's not something that I culturally can understand enough to work with it. Maybe
mm,
someday, but that would not do it. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I like it aesthetically. I think it's super interesting. It's super powerful. So it was basically the history of Middle Age, for example. Like in Middle Age, we wanted to say something. It was through religion and nothing else.
mm-hmm.
So, and even today, even though we don't really take the religion as it was before, today we still know exactly what it is. You see Jesus, you see Maria, you know exactly who it is. What
Yeah.
is it for? Like so, yeah. So it's super powerful, I think.
Yeah, coming from Italy as well, I don't believe, I don't consider myself religious at all. But there is a sort, it's really fascinating, the religious art and the churches, they used to put so much money and
Mm.
energy to develop like an artistic um form, and it was so important for them, and which is super interesting for me. And I always go through when I go to like visiting, I always go to churches, I always try to see those paintings, because they are such an important part of art, especially for my for where I'm from. um, that there is a big respect, as you said, to those paintings, to those artists, and to the church, in a sense that they invest so much money and so much time and so much energy to develop those artists through the time. And yeah, there is a really respect, and kind of like, I don't believe, but I'm a fascinating. I like to see these artworks,
Yeah,
which
exactly. It's
most yeah.
more fascination actually. Like I went to Rome, for example. Like I've seen a few church in the city and in Vatican itself. And I mean, I was blew away when I saw that. I was like, how is it possible they actually built it, this kind of stuff?
Mm,
Like it's just crazy.
yeah, it is. Some of them, yeah, the Vatican, I saw that as well. Some of them, they're like blow mind, because it's so much, even like work before even start painting. It's the whole planning before that's crazy. It's so crazy. Those big walls filled of paintings, beautiful stuff. And I love that. That's why I was super attracted by your paintings, because it's something that captured my eyes when I saw it, because the religion aspect and the way you make fun of it, and which is super funny. And it's not like a personal note. I don't think it's in a untasteful way. It's done like really well. It's not an aggressive way, you know what I mean? It's you do it in a way that makes you like, you know, just smile. And you can see it, there is a sarcastic note, but it's not like a criticism, like that bad criticism to those figures, which is I think it's really good. It's really tasteful for you to do that. So what's the biggest influence that you had in the past, and that you look up now, because those you go through painters that are part of that circle, the church artist, or anything that you can that you are interesting to, like you get influenced by?
For the references itself, I still try to keep it, I mean, to really take reference from paintings that were legitimately from the classical period. Like really, most of the time, even something you have maybe already seen. I don't know, I really like Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, for example. I used a lot of his work actually. Boucher also, I really like it. But then, I mean, it just has to have a story by itself, you know, like it has to be done like at the time. Otherwise, I feel like it's not working, because I really want to make a contrast between this period and today. So just for that, I think it's important. Like I will never take like a modern representation of Jesus, for example. Like sometimes you can see that on Instagram. I've seen that a lot because I'm looking for it sometimes. And it's just not as interesting, because today it's just like, okay, we believe in Jesus, we just show Jesus. It's not the same story that I take from a painting that was made, I don't know, in Middle Age, and that was actually made because that was their life, you know, and it was super important. So there is that. But then after, for my inspiration, yeah, that comes a bit from everything. The city of Berlin, of course. I mean, since I'm here, I've discovered a lot of stuff. The party scene also is a big part, like the fetish scene, BDSM, super important to me. And yeah, I mean, it just represents stuff again in a way like a joke, and I just want to make the idea simple and make sure it's working in between them. And yeah, that's it. Like just maybe also part of my life. Sometimes I see something funny, I'm like, oh, maybe I can actually paint it. Like
I see.
stuff like that. It's really, I keep it really simple actually.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, you go around as an artist. It's funny because I tell this to my girlfriend sometimes. We just walk in and I'm like, oh, look at this. This would be good painted, or you see in a certain way that it's difficult to explain. But I can imagine you when you go to church, for example, you're like, oh, what if I put this mask on this person? Like I can see you going that.
It's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
All the time.
It's the artist eyes, I say, which is super funny. But anyway,
Yeah, and I mean, it's never stopping actually. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, why not? That's our brain. That's how it works. And most of the people that I talk to, it's they see it like that. They see it, or what, in my case, what, I would love to draw this person. Like that's what my head goes to when we are in a bar, or I see a particular face, because I do portrait as well. That I'm like, oh, this guy is so interesting, and I would love to draw. I would love to just take a picture, but obviously I know that's super weird, and I try not to do it that much. Sometimes I sneak it and I try to pick a picture without without making me notice. But yeah, I can see it's a bit weird, but what can you do? What can you do? Anyway, would love to talk to you. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you have a busy schedule today as well. Thank you very much to take the time to be part of the podcast. And again, was an honor. It was great collaborating with you for the exhibition, and I was able to curate your exhibition. And thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks to you.